There is one stock that is about to skyrocket. The company is Nucor, N-U-E. They are a steel producer, and they have a big partnership with the nuclear company. So they're actually helping manufacture nuclear power plants, which are going to be a massive growth opportunity for the GDP of the US in the next 5 years, for AI to happen. This company, NUE, beat on earnings, and guidance is a little low for Q4. However, the chart is still set up very favorably to buy right now. It can hold for a month, right? I mean, Q4 is not for a while for those results to actually come out. And if we look at its peer, Steel Dynamics, ticker symbol STLD, it also had a pretty positive earnings reaction. So I think NUE looks good. Let's jump into a little breakdown. This is not financial advice.
This is Sam Putnam.
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 So this is a little info about the company. NUE, Nucor, is the company. They do have some connections that we want to talk about. This is the partnership I'm talking about with the nuclear company. They're evaluating the use of this steel and infrastructure for gigawatt scale nuclear reactors in the US. Okay. Gigawatt scale is the same scale. I was just talking about FSLR delivering 5 gigawatts of solar power to BP Energy. We need like 20 gigawatts for data centers. So solar is going to be part of it. Nuclear is going to be part of it, like Oklo or SMR and NNE are the other ones, but Oklo is the main guy. Still holding up there. You know, these speculative names are holding up. You know, they're not supposed to hold up. We'll see what these earnings bring. Past earnings reactions for this nuclear company have been, you know, solid, if not sideways. So if this holds up, you know, side note, I think these quantum names might have a prayer as well, but probably not. You know, these are probably done. The rare earth names are probably done in the way that United States, whatever this is, USA Rare Earth. USA Rare Earth sort of just totally died. But Trump and G also had a little bit of a, you know, coming together. So we're not so worried about rare earths. Back to the ticker at hand, NUE. This is the earnings reaction. It's super solid, beat on earnings. You can see that beat right here. And then if we look at its peer company, Steel Dynamics, STLD, also sort of taking off, and the most recent earnings was a beat. So super moves here. The nuclear company is, I don't believe, public, but this is recent as of late September. They're evaluating that steel. So that's super interesting as, you know, a 5-year plan for this company. If we look at a 5-year chart in the past, you know, we're done all right. We definitely returning to 2022 levels. I mean, interestingly, steel and I guess oil actually in 2022 also went up quite a lot, when pretty much every other company did not. This company has been stratospheric since early 2021. But as far as levels to look at, there's a ways to go. I mean, this is all the way back in 2024. So really, this is kind of like a month to 3 month sort of idea. It's sort of buy in here, off of, you know, this sort of chop back here. There's a bunch of people that bought and sold back here, right? And so now the question becomes, when you get to this pivot level, is it going to be a pivot where we go up, or is it going to be a pivot where we're like, no, it's not worth that much, and it sort of rolls over? So that's sort of why this is important as a level. And then you can't buy like the initial earnings day because that already happened, but also because you can see it closed up here and then it basically gave some back. So it's actually below that level of about 152, which if you look at here, somewhere in here, yeah, it's below that. So if it gets above that, that's a super clear level to risk right here. But in the meantime, 150 is also a really psychological level that it has sort of respected to some extent, going back to here, 150 right in here. So, you know, sort of apples and oranges or whatever shades of gray as to where you want to buy in here. But big picture, we're talking about a move from 150-ish up to, you know, 170, get above this high here. and then maybe shoot for 200, but not in the near term. The stock moves 6% a day. 200 is a full 2 years, year and a half, 9 months away. So yeah, this is more like a tight risk reward, risk a few bucks, make 10 play, or make 15. So that's the chart. And as far as what else they're up to, this is the partnership. And this is what I was talking about. So that they did beat the earnings per share, but caution about price pressures, and steel is a little cyclical, I guess. I mean, that's if you look at the chart, I mean, these companies definitely look cyclical in nature, literally up and down. So I guess you have to be aware of that, and that's why maybe you just buy for a month or so. Case studies with big manufacturing clients, I'm sure. I mean, if they're such a big company and they're not even doing anything related to nuclear yet, they're a major recycler of scrap steel. So they're in a bunch of different verticals: construction, manufacturing, and infrastructure. I'm not sure. I guess you need steel for bridges and roads and maybe even guardrails and all that. I mean, I'm sure you need steel pretty much everywhere. So this seems to be the company, and they sell a lot of it, $600 million a year. Or no, yeah, is that right? A quarter. Yeah. Net sales are 8 billion. EBITDA is 1 billion. A year ago, for that quarter, net earnings were 250 million. So yeah, I mean, just a little double check on the scale of this company. Generally, a $30 billion company, this is sort of in the same. First Solar is 25 billion, right? That I was just talking about. Institutional ownership a little lower than would be ideal. They do have operating facilities in Canada as well as Mexico. So a little more diversification there, and of course not China or anything that could be worrisome tensions wise. Nucor is North America's largest recycler, so that's what we're talking about here, steel recycling. So yeah, I guess this might be maybe part of the reason for the questionable guidance for Q4. Steel mills segment dropped in Q3 compared to Q2, lower volumes and margin compression. Higher average cost per ton on steel pricing. So basically steel is costing more. And as far as financial situation, they have this credit line that they're still able to get. And then they have a solid upgrade from Moody's. I'm not a public credit investor or anything crazy like that. I mean, the 2008 sort of made you question all these credit rating agencies. But all we have to do basically is know, yes, they expect Q4 earnings to be lower than Q3. We can see on the chart the reaction to Q3 earnings was good despite that guidance. And then Q4 earnings are going to be in late January. So that's a long time. If this thing just starts to chop, and specifically if it chops below 150 and you just get a bunch of this, like, you probably just sell out of it for a little loss, or you just don't get in it at all. But if it does hold this level, it's important, because the gift is, the curse is the gift. Because if you go back August and then September and then before that, August of the year before, once it gets above that level, it can make big moves. I mean, this doesn't look like a lot. This is 30% in, I don't know, a couple months. I mean, granted, the whole market was pretty, pretty active during that sort of post-tariff time. But yeah, a couple months, definitely got 20% at least into its earnings. So yeah, it's an idea. Following on that, a nuclear company sort of test in the long run is definitely going to be important if you just buy this blindly, which I don't recommend. But United States Steel X is another one, and then Reliance Steel. Maybe you've heard of that one. Try to keep generally to the companies I've heard. That's not doing anything too interesting. And then X. I have taken a look at this one. This one has been on the radar. I don't know exactly why. I mean, this is pretty gappy. 2023. I don't know. I mean, this price action is just so difficult. I mean, you can't sit in a stock for a month. So to be perfectly frank with you, the opportunity here is pretty much where it's at, which is why I'm talking about it today. 150 is interesting. If it can get above there and hold, maybe you get a push for a week or two up to 160 or 170. If you don't get that, you probably want to move your money elsewhere. But there's definitely skyrocket potential. So if you like these ideas, hit that like button. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe. If you want to see the best idea of the day, head over to stockscommunity.com and I will see you in the Discord. Not financial advice, but I hope to help.
This is Sam Putnam. This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
This is Sam Putnam.
All right, guys. We did it. Another day of stock ideas. In the window between jewelry and TikTok Shop Live. Who would have thought? Oh, shit.